Hi, welcome to Raj and I. In today's video, I am going to discuss about B2B and B2C. Being a business analyst, the kind of video I am making, this is from the context of business analysis because people, whoever are learning business analysis and whoever is applying for opportunities as a business analyst, at the same time, people who are working even few, I'm not saying everyone, but few people will have a doubt over different jargons we use in the field of application development as well as customer called B2B, B2C, all that, right? So what are all these two are all about, and in what way it is related, especially for the role of a business analyst, is what I'm going to explain in today's video. So if you get started, two things. One is B2B and second is B2C. So B2B stands for business to business, whereas B2C stands for business to customer. I'll give you an example so that you guys will understand this much better. Let's say a retail outlet. So what retail outlets do? Retail outlets sell different FMCG products to the customers, right? So means they are doing business. They have an enterprise which is called a retail outlet, and whatever the business transactions they were doing, whatever the transactions they were performing in their business, this is directly to the customer. Means customer will come to the shop, and whatever the products they want, they can choose the products, they can get it bill done in the billing counter so that they can take the products. So retail store, or if it's any food and beverages kind of, etc., right? So these people are directly doing business directly to the customer. Means they are selling and they are doing the transactions directly to the customer itself. You can take call centers even on a high level note. Call centers, right? So these are all B2C companies. Means business we are giving directly to the customer. We are dealing directly to the customer. This is what generally we call it as business to customer is. But whereas when it comes to B2B, B2B is something we talk about business to business. It is business to business means whatever the business we are doing, one business individual or person or an organization is doing business with other companies. That's what generally we call it as business to business is all about. There are two kind of organizations, like you can see, like some people will give direct services to the customer. Some people can give direct business to the other business people, right? So business, other business people and all that, right? So that's how generally it was. I can say, like, for example, uh, any manufacturer, right? I can say any manufacturers. Like for B2B, example I can give for manufacturers, like manufacturers who are manufacturing the product. For example, if you take an industry, let me put you this way. Let's say like batteries, right? So batteries or electronic goods, right? So some manufacturing was there. So what they do, usually manufacturer manufacture a product, and these products will be given to a business person, other side business person. Either those persons And to you to understand it, they assume that there are wholesalers, right? For example, wholesale organizations or retail companies or wholesale companies. So these FMC, these manufacturing products, these batteries or something XYZ, XYZ, this will be doing their business and all everything with other business person. Other business person is buying these products. It may be a wholesaler. From there, it may be a retailer. From that retailer, customer is buying. So a person who is manufacturing a product is not directly doing business with the customer directly, not to the end user. Customer means I'm talking about end user. For example, we are buying a car for a battery, right? So battery for a car, right? So when we are driving a car, we require a battery for that, right? So what are the batteries and all? These battery manufacturing people manufacture the batteries, and whatever the batteries they were doing business and all everything with other distributors, all that. So those distributors are selling these batteries irrespective of the company it can be, right? So batteries to the customers whoever they want, so customer is buying it. So through directly from the manufacturer, customer is not buying. This is where generally the example you can see from B2B. So this is what generally the fundamental difference we should understand from B2B to B2C. B2B means business to business. The manufacturer is a business person doing trading and business with other person, right? Other business personnel or professional. But whereas B2C means business to customer, means being a service person, we are providing direct services to the customer directly. Now, why are we learning this? And for what reason are we learning? And for what purposes being a business analyst this is required? Because most of the people may have a doubt, right? So Raj, in what way being a business analyst, I must be knowing about the difference, right? So all that. Because whenever we apply being a business analyst, whenever we are trying to apply for job opportunities, we must be knowing about what kind of company it belongs to. For example, if you take a financial institution, for example, a bank or something. So what banks do, banks will provide services to their customers, let's say, right? So for example, bank is providing some loans to the customers, for example, as an example I was giving. So banks is providing loan to the customer. So if a bank is hiring you as a business analyst, they want some technical solution must be developed. So for that, requirement gathering has to be done by you as a BA. Maybe it can be loan management system, it can be XYZ. So this is something relating to B2C, right? So business to a customer. So this is where being a BA, you need to understand what kind of company this belongs to, either it is a B2B one or it is a B2C. Because whenever we try to understand the stakeholders, whenever we try to understand this from the perception of the stakeholders, right? Who the stakeholders are. So what kind of stakeholders do we require? Because stakeholder engagement is one of the prominent skill set which is required for a BA. You know that. So whenever being a business analyst, this was the case. Being a business analyst, we must be knowing about from where are we gathering the requirements and what type of stakeholders are we meeting in regular intervals. Because some requirements, some customers we can meet directly. Let's say, for example, we are developing an online shopping kind of, for example, right? Online shopping, something like Amazon, Flipkart, all that. Assume that an online shopping portal we are developing for one of the online shopping company to whom they are interacting with, doing business. They are doing business directly with the customer, for example. Now, when I talk about end user, you have to collect requirements from the end user. Then from where we collect the requirements? Because customers can be anyone. Whoever is using that online shopping portal will be a customer. That customer can be anyone. That customer can be anywhere across different it can be, right? So if it's a global wide, across different countries, states, all that, right? So customer, meeting the customer or interacting with the customer to know about the perception would not be not possible, right or not? So when being a business analyst, whenever you are trying for a business analyst role, or whenever we are working, as in when understanding stakeholders and engaging stakeholders is one of the key and prominent thing we need. It is always important for us to know what type of companies are we working for, and what type of companies are we providing services. Underline this point. What kind of companies are we working for? Second, to whom are we providing services? For example, you are working for an IT services company, your software company. You are working as a business analyst. Now you have a client who is from a banking client. Banking client. So what this banking client do? Banking client will take deposits from the customers. Against to that, they will provide some interest on that. They will secure their money, and they provide loans also, right? So directly, that banks are directly dealing with the customer. So, for example, one of your customer is a banking client, expecting you to develop the solution and all. You should understand what could be their functionality, what is the business model, right? What business model that organization, respective organization has. So how they are dealing with their customers and what type of customers they have. So if you have that knowledge, it is easy for you uh, to get into the role as a business analyst much easier, because the reason why I'm making this video, because as in I do a lot of trainings and coachings for people. I don't generalize this point, that I don't say that everybody, not everybody knows that. But there were few people who are not even from non-IT, especially from non-IT people, and people who are new to the fields may confuse about what are B2B companies, what are B2C companies, all that, because these are the common jargons and terminologies we use and we listen in the field of professional experiences, especially in the field of IT and services, all that. So, but most of the people will feel hesitant to ask this question to someone, because usually we feel what other people will think of, right? So usually we feel, even though we don't know the exact meaning of it, some people will feel hesitant and they want to know about that, right? But they can't ask because they feel that this, it's a very small this thing. What other people will think of me, right? So these are the things, right? So the reason why I'm making these kind of videos was that, because that is where most of the people requires, because they want some sort of guidance, they want some sort of right path, right, to know about small things. These are all not something very big, right, to understand. These are all the small jargons, processes, so which is something useful for them when they want to excel in their professional careers. So for that reason, I just made this video. Of course, this is not only intended for a business analyst roles. Of course, people who are working in the field of IT and even in some other professional experiences, interested learners, I can say. Everybody should know about what is B2B, what is B2C companies, B2B companies and B2C companies, all that. Not only for business analyst, of course, it is for intended, even for everybody. It's for interested learners. So this is the reason why I made this video. I hope you got an idea, right? So how different B2B and B2C companies were. This is all about today. If you have any questions, if you have any queries in regard to that, please reach out to the contact details, which will be posted in below to this video. Thank you.